Purpose of workshop, opening remarks by chair, superintendent's opening remarks, staff presentation, board discussion, and then public comments. If there are any, there's no public, it doesn't look like, for 3 minutes, but at this point, I'm gonna pass it over to Superintendent Longshore.
All right, thank you for coming this afternoon. Thank you, staff. I know they've been working with Mike to get all of their department budgets in order. Thank you, ABM, for coming back, because I know you were here yesterday and we just ran right past you. And so thank you for making the effort to get back today, and we look forward to hearing from you. So with that.
Okay, I'd like to bring ABM up to give you an update on where we are with staffing throughout the school system.
That sounds great. With your microphone, that's wonderful. We need some adjustments.
How you doing, Jesus?
Will the podium mic work okay? The podium mic should work fine.
Hello.
Yes,
You can-
sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
You can sit there if you'd like to, if you want to
Either
do that.
place.
Thank you for the opportunity, Jesus Martinez, ABM, District Manager. Basically, what we want to talk about a little bit is our operation, the way we run. And at the moment, I give you the documentation at the beginning, at the top. You can actually see that we are right now on 88 permanent position. And active employees, 84. That means at this moment, we have 4 openings. It's been crazy. I mean, we have a lot of turnovers. I mean, a lot of people moving from one place to another, especially in Lake Placid. We've been struggling a little bit. In the bottom, I mean, at the moment, we have our LCE on May 27th, tomorrow. One of the school board employees is leaving us, so he's retiring. So that's one of the positions that's going to be open, and we're going to have to replace it. Lake Placid High School, we're missing 2 people. Operation is 100% up and running. I mean, the guys internally handling everything. And Cracker Trail, we're missing 1 employee. Below, you will see like we call pipeline or in-hiding process. Whatever you see LP, those are employees that we have placed already last week. So there are 4 of them. And in the bottom, you see that our pipeline, we had 3 more going to Lake Placid. So hopefully we are catching up on the people that we need for the operation. We have an assistant 17 employees in enhanced cleaning program, disinfecting the schools. Those are the people that we're using for subs, or you can call it floaters, you can call it, every time we have a call out for an employee, what we basically do, we check availability within the same school if they want to do the hours, the workload distribution, 1 hour each employee, or 2 hours, whatever they want overtime, as an overtime. After that, if no one is available within that school, we look in the area, Lake Placid, the other schools, anybody wants to do the overtime. If they are available, then we go for it. After that, then we move forward out of the area. If Lake Placid, we don't have anybody that cover the area, we go to Sebring on Avon Park. We give it the overtime, and we give them the gas expense. We 100% responsible of whatever they spend in gas, especially now. And if that doesn't work, we don't have anybody. It's either Christian, Kevin, and I. We usually go, and that usually happens a few times lately. We go and take care of the area. But I just want you to keep in mind that it's impossible for us to allow 1 room to not be done or complete in the school. So I know I've been in a lot of accusations that there's a lot of room that we don't do the job to the operation. Every day it is being done with full crew. It's only 4 people that we have right now.
Okay.
Any question?
At a meeting the other day with a high school principal, she was pretty much alluding that she hasn't had a full staff of custodial employees in quite a while. I mean, she was at one meeting, and then she was at the next meeting, and she again set. So my question is, I mean, I think each school is expecting so many custodial people. I don't know. And so if they're expecting so many, and that's what our contract calls for, I mean, I know that we're looking at a shortage of teachers here also, but I have a contract with you to provide so many people. And then what I'm hearing is the classrooms aren't being taken care of like they, you know, they were when you had a full staff. And then also you have a school where you don't have a full staff, but maybe you will bring some, but they're all females. Well, a man is only able to do certain things and a female is only able to do certain things. I guess they can only climb a ladder so high, or, you know, I don't know what all that. So all I'm asking of you is, because we've got our schools up, and I've been very happy with, but we've got our schools up. There are some that feel like they're failing because they're not getting the full custodial staff that they're supposed to have for that day.
At the moment, we full crew. I mean, I don't know which one in particular.
Your
Then
full,
Only these 4 schools.
your full staff at all of your schools, except for which ones again?
Right now, Lake Placid High School and Cracker Trail.
So all the other schools, they're fully
Yes,
staffed?
and tomorrow we're gonna have Lake
Is
Country.
this just done? Was this,
The-
so Sebring High School is at full staff, you're saying? So if I
Sebring-
were to check with Kim, she would tell me.
Please do so.
Okay, and then the elementary school that was saying that, but that's what I maybe want for a week. I mean, you might have gone out real quick and filled those positions, and which is
Women-
fine, because that's what I want you to do. But I want you to be consistent and to stay that way. I'd almost like for like a month's schedule of each school and how many are supposed to be there and how many aren't there for a full month, just to see, because they're saying that their rooms aren't being taken care of like they should because you don't have the full staff. And then our others are kind of having to stay and do what, because there's not a full staff there.
So you did speak to that if they got the full staff, but they've got staff that's out, you know, that they're absent, then you're covering that with overtime from either
course.
that staff or a neighboring school, or even schools in other cities. And if they can't do that, then you guys are going in. Is that the
We do.
progression?
That is being done. That's exactly what is being
If
done.
you pull staff from one school to another school, then that makes that school short.
That
No,
would be
no, no.
overtime.
And that's what she shared with me. But I know that's what they were doing one time too, is they would call because you'd be so short at one school. You call and then you'd get other staff to come to where you have the most shortage. And then, you know, so it's just kind of like a domino, you know.
This is what we have done in let's say, the Sebring Middle School. We had extra people in the district and in Sebring to cover that area. So basically what we have done is say we have a situation in Lake Placid that we were missing 2 employees. Not missing, they were leaving. So we need to replace that area. So we got 2 people from Sebring, we sent it over there. People from, one of them being from the Sebring Middle School, but we have already the replacement for them. It's not that the position was open. It is imperative for us to be successful at what we do.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
And
we
I haven't had any complaints until the last year and a half.
we take this very seriously, and every time that I see something and I see some concern, I don't know what, sometime a lot of information came down and they're not really accurate. Although we have cameras, we have things like that you can actually prove me wrong if I'm lying here. And
That's what I say, maybe if I could just, you know, I'm sure the schools somehow keep track of how many they have, how many they may be minus, so.
our daily work is basically to, every time that we have a call out, we just have to find a solution. This is basically what we do every day. I mean, this is imperative. And if we're not ready, and nobody's able to do that, automatically we go ourselves.
And your solution when someone is absent, they're sick, they're absent, your solution then is to give overtime, right?
That is correct.
Because there's no sub sitting in the hallways ready to jump into those. You're having to solve it by giving overtime
Overtime.
to either the folks on that campus or the folks that might be at other campuses, giving them overtime after their work is done
That
at
is
their other
correct. That's
school.
100%. We cannot afford for the request for the employee to work without being paid overtime. It's impossible.
So, oh, I'm sorry.
So would a plant operator be there when that person is there doing overtime to just kind of overlook? Probably not, because they put in their
Plant operator,
hours.
remember the plant operator works in the morning from 6 all the way to 2:30. Some plant operators, they work extra time. And they're able to control what night lead. we're working on every school to set up with 9 leads. We have like 90% of them. Some school, we don't need them. But we make sure that the people that we replace, or people that is doing the job, for the next morning, the first thing we request for the plant manager is to go and take a look at it.
Because
The area that
that's
was
what
in
I'm hearing is, and I know that you guys have checks and balances where you go in and you check the rooms to make sure that they were done to the same standard. But from what I'm hearing is they're not being done to the same standard because people are being stretched so far. So that's what I've heard. And that's just from what I've heard, because I have not gone in and checked
At the
classrooms
beginning
like
of the
that.
year,
That's-
it was requested to us to
Yes, sir.
do we actually did a presentation. And we put it on all the school. We bought the binder, we bought everything to put in every classroom. But for some reason, principals do not want to proceed with the practice.
I'm
It's
sorry,
up to
say
them,
that
it's not
again.
up to us.
Yeah, I'm not understanding that either.
So say that again, I'm sorry.
Checkoff sheet or something, is that what you're
Yeah, we have a daily, every time that one of the guys, our guy, go into the room, the classroom, they have to checklist, basically with the area that they have cleaned.
They have a checklist.
We used to
yes.
put it on all the school,
Right.
all of them. So for some reason, they did not follow that. I mean, well, I would say the principals, I would say that somebody got it off because nobody's doing it.
Nobody was following through with it?
The custodians
Well,
were
the
not
custodian
doing
have to
it.
follow. If they put it there, we have to follow.
So who wasn't following it?
A lot of schools they don't respond on that issue.
The custodians aren't checking off?
The custodian was checking but for some reason,
The follow through from the school, they're not weren't looking at the list you had, I'm trying to figure that out. but-
where's the
Can't imagine a
documentation?
principal not wanting things done, you know, that it's.
I can get you, but basically when we started the year, everything was in place. But for some reason, it did not proceed, the follow-up was not there.
We're gonna meet with each of the schools and review these procedures, because that was the enhanced cleaning part, so that they would understand that you see a check mark, that means somebody was in your room and they checked off that particular procedure. If they're not following those procedures, we're gonna evaluate that, get back with them and actually help them, understand the whole process. And if he can keep trying to hire people, hopefully this will go away. They're gonna go to $10 an hour on July 1. So 11, I'm sorry, you're right. So that should help.
We actually met with the ABM team yesterday. It was yesterday, right?
Yes.
My week is kind of pushed in yesterday. And on our insight survey that we get every year, that all of our staff does, there's an area on there on is your school clean? And so I was able to provide them that information, and they decided yesterday, taking that information, they were gonna go back to their principals, to their schools, each school, sitting down with each principal and leader and talking about, okay, this is what I see that your staff is saying about your school. Tell me why it's like that, or tell me, what would they think that it's either 90% or 50% or whatever it is, so we can make it better. So I thought that was a really good strategy too, that they were gonna reach out.
Chrissy Sampson is our VP, regional VP, and she want to say something.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me and allowing me a moment to speak. I was fearful of coming up here thinking I wouldn't be tall enough at first. Icebreaker?
You made the hike.
Icebreaker, right? I am the VP, as he mentioned, for ABM, and I joined this market about 8 months ago. We have in between Jesus and I as a support is Julio Zayas, which has been around as our regional director of operations. And I'm really big on getting in front of the boards, whether it's talking to you or just listening on what's going on. I was here yesterday. I drove from Miami, and I found out about this board meeting, and I heard the insight survey, and I asked if I could come back. That is because we hear you loud and clear. There's room for opportunity, and we've had some feedback that we need to improve. Naturally, definitely with urgency. However, the realistic aspect is we have new people, but what are we going to do? maybe the old way of having tenured folks, a lot of retiring, which is kudos to this community and you. But ultimately, we have a different workforce, a different way of learning. So what was working then might not work now. So when you were referencing some of the schools a year and a half ago, yeah, some of it's the new folks. You guys are experiencing that as well in your own schools and staff. But we have to kind of review and see what's working and what isn't. So just letting you guys know, I heard you. I am here. I listened to a lot of TED Talks on the way. But we're taking action, and we're going to be presenting that in the near future. So thank you for having me.
Well, we have someone that's retiring in a level as a plant operator. Do we try to get someone in before that person actually leaves so they can learn the school, learn where shut-offs are?
Of course, we don't have that candidate, he's not 100% with us yet. We're working and talking with somebody.
So the person that, I'm trying to think of which school it was that just retired, I saw it. saw the
That's
picture.
Eugene,
Which school was that? Yes,
Lake
Eugene.
Country.
Lake Country.
Eugene,
He's not a plant operator, he's just a cleaner in the afternoon.
There was someone there where I thought a plant operator.
Isn't
was-
some plant operator changing?
well, we replaced already the one in Lake Placid Middle School,
Okay.
so we in
Have they
transition.
left yet? Are they still there? The one that
They left and we have a
That's
new.
what I'm saying, do you have a transition period? I know like we're fixing to lose one at Woodlock. You know.
Mr.
Yeah,
Williams.
Mr. Williams.
Well, we have to,
So will you put someone in with Mr. Williams to,
Usually
Yes.
we give them like 2 or 3 days to, you know, if we can't even a whole week to kind of oversee what they do so they can learn the campus.
sometimes it takes me repetition, so 2, 3 days you've lost.
No,
But they're younger
no,
than
they
you are,
stay,
Donna.
we try to keep them there for like a week to work close and work with the facilities and be familiar with the
Leave that cell
procedures.
phone for that
he's
guy.
leaving next year.
There should also be, recently we've changed our hiring system, our technology system, and we can actually post in advance now for some of those openings. So to answer your question, yes, we can post in advance now for that. He has to submit it through senior leadership myself, and I can get that approved. So that's a yes now, given the change in the labor market. Secondly, there should be an overlap with the key training for 5 days minimum and also the onboarding plan. Thirdly, there should be peer support as well. So we talked about this yesterday. Plant operations managers, they should be peer reviewing each other's sites. They should be doing the quality assurance inspections and so forth. We should make it a team opportunity and then also identify the top talent in every school from custodial. Kevin's a prime example, right? Identify that and be able to leverage our internal folks because honestly, the new folks in the new day and age of the generation, who we have is who we really need to value 100% in regards to internal talent and sticking with us, right, Kevin? Thank you. But those are the 3-pronged approach. So what I'll do is I'll make sure I'll write that down. What is our onboarding plan and our transition procedure? Did I hear that? Like what is sticky?
Well,
I can do
just,
that.
I would hope 2 to 3 days, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm sorry. For that latitude of a position, as Kevin will probably tell you, you know, the transition and all of that. But, and then also, so, I've never been in a job that it mattered if I was a man or a woman. I had to do everything everybody else had to do, so.
Yeah, we
So
were
is
never,
there, 'cause women are not allowed to climb ladders?
we're not allowed to, we actually don't pick when, if it's the job is for a man, we let a man do it.
Oh, that's fine.
We don't put a lady there to do it.
And that's fine, and that type of work, I can kind of see that, but if you've got a school and you've got one man there and everybody else is a woman, that's not easy either, so you might wanna keep that in mind too, when you're looking at a school and you've got everybody placed,
Totally agree with you.
so. And I know, again, you're limited on people and you're trying to just, but if there's only one man, that's not easy either.
Mr. Chair, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Are you hearing that in the field? Okay, so maybe there's a communication and a messaging piece we need to address. I'm a lady and I'll run circles on a ladder around him. So, no, that's concerning because I don't want a lady or a male out there thinking that they aren't qualified to do a role.
I was
Because of
confused
hearsay.
by
Well,
that
they say
question
a
a well.
woman's not allowed to climb a roof, I don't know that I wanna climb a roof. I wanna
Above
know where
6 feet,
I'm
yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Well, that, I mean,
no.
I don't think that that has to do with a gender,
I
you
know,
know, a
but
male
she
or a
wants to
female.
explain her-
Differentiate our workforce in
And
this
maybe,
ways.
maybe that woman is saying, I'm not supposed to do that.
Is that accurate, that there is a difference between? Oh, okay.
no, I'm saying there,
There is
That's
no
what I
difference.
no, there are qualifications and responsibilities.
Maybe he's just a
Can you
gentleman.
effectively do the job?
Correct.
We've all been through those. That's why I'm saying that's concerning, because I want my team, our team, we spoke about this actually yesterday. We want everyone to feel that if you're hearing something that disqualifies you, let's gut check that and let's fact find for them so that everyone feels open, because we need that talent in all aspects to want to be able to think that they're qualified, as much so as the gentleman next to them.
But I agree with stripping and waxing that floor, you need a pretty good sized person to do that job also.
If we can
Yeah,
avoid a
yeah.
lady to do it, then
And I can
That's
see
that's
that.
responsibilities, just
Yeah.
like a small frame person that maybe
Right.
they can't get through
Regardless
it.
of gender,
A gentleman
yes.
or a lady, if they can't physically do it without harming themselves, then naturally we're going to choose someone else to do it despite. I'm with you, and it is hard.
So that's
Yeah.
what you're saying,
Yes.
you're splitting up your employees, maybe say, you know what, I got 9 men at this school and 9 women, and maybe we can
of course, yeah, agreed. I mean, this is basically our plan. I mean, we don't wanna let, if, that's our choice. If we know exactly what we have, we're gonna have, so we go for the guy to do the work.
Our schools have been looking good, and I just want them to stay that way.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
And we're
We've pressed
struggling
them
for
a little, yeah.
staff too, so I understand with the staff, but we still have to get it done somehow.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy.
All right, we'll start with the ESC budgets. And overall, they decreased $18,782. And that's for
Does that
20,
get them out of the black hole that you always
for
refer to?
20 years. I've never seen this, so that's amazing.
Pam, I'm trying.
All right, the first budget is the Director of Exceptional Education, $6,850, and there's no change from last year. The next budget, intellectual disability budget, $228,200, and there's a decrease of $20,250, and it's due to a decrease in agency needs. Next budget is curriculum development, exceptional student ed. It's $23,900. There's no change from last year, except for changing object codes based on current year expenditures.
Thank you, guys, for being here today.
Yes, thank you.
Good seeing you, Kevin.
Yes. Oop, be careful.
The next budget is the other legal services budget, $50,000, and there's no change in that from that last year. Next budget is coordinator of exceptional student education, $4,000, and there's no change from last year. Next budget is physical occupational. It's $189,274. There's no change from last year except for moving between object codes based on current year's expenditures. And they do have a capital budget of $5,000 as well. Next budget is speech hearing. It's $465,297, and it's an increase of $4,797 to purchase Champ Story kits. They have a capital budget as well for $25,300. The next budget is visually handicapped, $7,500, and there's no change from last year. They have a capital budget of $2,695 as well. Next budget is hospital homebound. It's $109,750, and there's no change from last year. Next budget is program staffing specialist, $14,675. And there's no change except for current year expenditures between object codes. The next budget is adaptive physical education budget for $7,150. There's a decrease of $400 based on current year's expenditures. Next budget is the pre-K budget. It's $4,300. There's a decrease of $2,929, and it's based on not needing to purchase the Brigands kits this year, whatever they are.
Are you gonna give us an explanation, Mike, of what the Brigance kids are? I was gonna be really impressed.
This is research.
All right, those are all of the ESC budgets.
Pam, thank you so much for your work. I mean, you oversee a zillion people, and talking about hard to find to get people in positions. I know you hustle every bush and look at everything you can possibly find with our most needy kids across the district. So it is often a thankless job, and I just really thank you, and I know this board does, for serving these kids so extremely well. When you slide one of those pictures across my desk of one of those kids being able to respond in some way using some technology that they're doing, I tell you, that goes a long, long way. So just great thanks for you and all
Near
your
and
hard
dear to
work.
my heart, because I'm right
That's
there,
right.
part of
You
that
were
little
there. That's
team there,
right.
you know,
You
so
were.
we're tight knit, so.
Yeah, awesome. And you're out of the black hole a little bit, so.
All right, the curriculum budgets, there's a total increase of $21,500. The first budget is My District Virtual School, NEPEC. It's $35,400, and there's no change from last year. Next budget is math, and it's $6,000, and it's an increase of $1,500 based on new best trainings. Next budget is science, it's $40,200, and there's no change I'm sorry.
All right.
Well, there's a problem with that. He's got a $1,500, oh, I see, this is a decrease up there, okay. This is just a switch between object codes. Next budget is ELA Social Studies, $4,000, and there's no change from last year. Next budget is ELA Social Studies 6 through 12, and it's $4,000, no change from last year. And it's in K through, PK 5, okay.
I thought the first page said pre-K through 5, and the second page says 6 through 12.
The next budget is Director of Federal Programs. It's a decrease of $10,000, and she was able to use other funding sources for those funds.
Diane.
Next budget is Curriculum Development, Research, Evaluation, and Assessment. It's $11,360, and $1,000 decrease due to current year expenditures. Next budget, Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Programs, $4,400, and there's no change from last year. We also review all of these budgets, and all of them were within their budgetary, with a few exceptions, but most every budget came in this year, the way we budgeted. Next budget is curriculum development, elementary education, $770 rather, no change from last year. Next budget is fine arts, $13,698, and there's no change from last year. Next budget is physical education budget, $30,400, and there's no change from last year. Next budget is ESOL, and it's zero. It's a decrease of $9,600, and because these expenses will be covered under a Title III grant. Next budget is Assistant Superintendent for Student Support Services, $6,666. That's a strange number. And there's,
665, 667.
I'll give you an extra dollar to fix that.
there's no change from last year.
We'll round up.
Next budget is Curriculum Development, Student Support Services, $7,460, and there's a decrease of $14,000. The decrease was due to moving the drug testing program to safety security. You
Saw
heard that one
10
on Tuesday.
on
Yeah, we
Tuesdays,
did.
yeah.
Next budget is Health Education, $18,400, as an increase of $10,500, and that's to increase the AED pads and batteries, and requires CPR training.
Those replacement of those batteries, Melissa, how often does that have to happen? Do you know? Oh, you're,
Batteries and pads are every 3 to 4 years, and we replace the AED every 7 to 8 years.
okay, thanks. I knew it was not annually anyway.
There is a capital request from this budget as well for $1,400. Next budget is psychologists, social workers, $102,100, an increase of $500 to cover digital protocols. And there's a capital budget here as well for $5,000. Next budget is the Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Programs. It's $6,100, and it's an increase of $1,000 based on current year expenditures. Next budget is South Florida State College dual enrollment textbooks, $138,000, an increase of $16,000 based on current year's expenditures.
Yeah, they're killer. No, it's no joke. Yes,
They share when they can, I know, but they gotta buy new ones all the time too.
they do this annual deal. It is bad.
Oh, really? Okay.
Dr. Stevens tried to help with that, but there doesn't seem to be much appetite from the professors to make the difference. And so it's something we've been fighting as long as I've been superintendent. It's just they don't want to move off of being able to use those books year after year after year because they update them and they want that new. So that's something that we'll keep having conversation about, and they also increased even their fees and stuff, so that's,
The books can only be used once, for the student, only before we used to hand them off to the next student.
Yeah.
then you can't do that any longer. So I think we need to just put our efforts in having our teachers get their master's degree. So if we get the master's degree, they can teach those classes at the campuses.
Yeah. Gotta do.
And they can still do dual enrollment because they would have the qualifications to do that. So maybe goal 3 can work on, paying for master degrees or something so that we.
Use the same books is the problem.
No.
You can choose your own books.
Well, it might be yes, Marlene. You know a lot of the history, so I.
It used to be that we had to use the same book that the college was using. The only reason I know that is because I used to have to go buy them. So if they change, if it's math, if it's ENT 1101, which is freshman English, whatever we use, it has to be the same as the college. Unless that has changed, it might have changed because I've been.
Well, that sounds legit.
Yeah, but at least we don't have to pay the fees to the college.
That's true, that's
And
true.
that- they're expensive
There still
too.
would be some savings, right?
Well, my courses, I let them go a few years. I don't change my books out that fast.
Well,
so I
can you
think we're
spread that
rolling.
news
So,
to
I mean,
others,
it's-
maybe?
It's easier that way too.
Tell the
so,
other
yeah,
professors
yeah.
Yeah,
not to
could you talk
update
to the
their.
other professors?
Yeah,
I
once
changed
they,
my
they don't have
quiz
to
questions
change their,
and
yeah.
Anyway, it's a big expense, but it's wonderful to see our kids get the dual enrollment and be able to graduate with that, but it is a big expense.
Because I hear so many other college students saying they're online, they're not even are they online with their books at other colleges?
I can tell you that my sons are taking dual enrollment and they actually have a book,
Yeah.
So all my courses are online and they have a book.
huge book.
They do have
Still
a
have a
book.
They still
They have a
require
book
the book.
and then they take the quizzes online for the online course.
Their money's probably in that book.
You're exactly right. Yeah, you're exactly right.
I'm sure there's an online.
Sorry, I got
component
us
too.
derailed on that, sorry.
But
Every
they
year
do
that
have
is,
big books.
That's a big number.
It is a big number.
Okay, the next budget is Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Program Curriculum Development, $20,800. There's a decrease of $6,550 due to a decrease in moving the $2,000 for translation of the SCP, report cards, et cetera, translation budget. The next budget is the dual enrollment budget, this we were just talking about. It's $358,000, it's an increase of $40,000 based on current year's expenditures.
My budget used to be 50,000.
Really?
Next budget is advanced academic budget. It's $41,970, and it's a decrease of $7,650 due to no longer using Alex trade books, whatever they are. Again,
Don't know that answer.
next budget is career and technical education. It's $3,600. It's an increase of $800 based on current year's expenditures. The next budget is the Highlands Career Institute at South Florida State College. It's $12,150, and there's no change from last year. And the last budget is the aerospace program. It's $9,200, and there's no change from last year. Those are all of the department budgets. We'll bring back food service, the capital, debt service, and all the miscellaneous budgets probably in a board meeting in August, once we close the books and have better numbers for you.
And again, I just want to thank the ladies that are here. I know Nia's up in Tallahassee at a conference, but you guys are just doing a magnificent job. Diane, you jumped right into the work in here, and I've heard from so many administrators the attention that you have given them at school to school, sitting down with them, helping them really understand how they can use those title monies. And I know that they have reached out to you when they couldn't get it another way, and you have found out all different kind of titles that I think they didn't realize maybe some of those things were there. So it's just been wonderful to have you on board and really helping the schools. And Carrie and Melissa, It's just awesome to be able to work with you guys and do the work that you do every day. So just really thank you.
Anything else to add? No public comment. No, that's so interesting tonight, or today, so. We'll call this hearing adjourned.
Workshop.
Workshop, Act 3, workshop adjourned. Sorry, I got so many things. I've already checked out of that.
Graduations hadn't even started. I think about some of these superintendents that have 20 graduations, because graduations are going 2 weeks, you know, start going. I've seen some of them already start posting stuff.
Some of the school boards, they don't go to all of them,
That's
the bigger
true,
one,
yeah,
but-
yeah. They have like regional superintendents that go and boards.
Oh, yeah.
I know that because I'm the hearing parent.
Okay.
That's
I
how
went to every one.
Well, I saw on Facebook that Bell was underneath,
I know, I'm the hearing parent.
Yeah, because they have like 17 high schools.
Madison. Yeah, smart, smart.
We're saying how smart you are.
Yeah, right.
You are.
I'm brilliant.
You are. And we love you.
For the next 2 years, right?
Yeah.